So I've shopped for both vintage and clothing and accessories throughout my shopping days. Same thing as vintage clothing, and when I travel I do thrift.
Oh honey, though our friendship ceases from now.
I've been thrift shopping pretty much my whole life, and it's my favorite place to shop.
I shop more thrifted, I would say, but recently I have been getting more into vintage.
And I like to thrift and vintage shop a little bit.
And I love to thrift.
I think I started shopping for vintage with my mom. I remember I was looking for like a grade 8 graduation dress, and my mom took me to a bunch of consignment stores. And I was very set on not having something that everybody else in my graduating class would be wearing. And that kind of sparked me shopping vintage. But then being like in high school and then in university, having no money, I'm gonna start shopping at thrift stores, save some money.
As soon as I started getting into fashion, I started getting into thrifting, and they went hand in hand together. And thrifting just allows me to be into fashion because I don't have the money to be able to buy new clothes all the time from retail stores. So going thrifting, I can find cheap, nice things as long as I just take the time. And so, yeah, as soon as I got into fashion, I would just start thrifting and finding my own things at thrift stores and really like developing my own sense of fashion, I guess.
I like thrifting because I get like a high off of it. When you get like something from like Le Chateau for like $14, I'm like, yeah, like run out the store and I'm like, start the car. Like, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm stealing from them, but like I'm not because like I pay, but it's good.
It's good.
That's my reason.
I like thrifting. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than if you were to buy things retail, and you actually find like a lot more unique items. So it's a little bit like the items that you find kind of, I don't know, you like bond with them in a sense, like they're yours, and they sort of contribute a little bit if you're really into fashion to your identity.
Yeah. So I probably started thrifting when I was a kid. My parents were always very into thrift shopping too and would always take me to the thrift stores. And it always seemed like a treasure hunt for me to try to find my favorite thing or something that I thought was really cool. And my mom noticed pretty early on that I had a knack for thrifting because I would find really special stuff in the stores that nobody else would find. She'd always be like, where'd you find that? Like, we were shopping at the same store. And I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
Look for specific items that I wouldn't regularly find in the mall, or clothes that I know other people wouldn't have. I also enjoy thrift shopping. It's a good opportunity to explore cities when I travel and find a unique piece of clothing that I know I can get only at a thrift shop for a good price.
I think I prefer thrifted shopping because vintage shopping is more so things that people have already gone through, and it's usually at a more expensive price, and it's also, I think, a little bit more popular. So when you go to vintage shops, they tend to know what's going to sell and what's not. So most of the stuff that's there will be purchased and will be used. I like to go to thrift stores because 80% of the things in thrift stores will never be sold and will usually be burned or shipped off to third world countries to sell in their markets there. So I prefer to take things directly out of the waste stream and things that some people probably wouldn't think of buying. I like to buy things that might be not in the best condition and then repair them or turn them into something else. And basically I just like the idea of taking things out of the waste stream and making sure that nothing's going to the landfill.
And vintage clothes you can find a lot of vintage thrifting, right? And that's what I really like, but vintage shopping specifically tends to be a bit more expensive, so it is harder to keep that up versus thrifting.
I kind of grew up thrift shopping, and for us, we had the choice of, do you want to go to a store and get 1 or 2 items, or do you want to go to Value Village and get a whole wardrobe of items for back to school shopping? And so it was my mom who always took us every August to Value Village to do our back to school shopping.
Mine was the same. I was with my mom before thrifting was like kind of a huge thing. Like she didn't really want to tell people we thrift when I was a kid. So we used to say we're going to Holt Renfrew. They're really like fancy place because kids repeat everything they say. So she's like, no, we're going to Holt Renfrew. So we used to talk. So we'd really going to Valley Village, and so I just got through. Now my mom doesn't care, and we go all the time. But yeah, it was really funny. Yeah, that's where I got started.
I would have to say I do enjoy thrift shopping more. I like the whole treasure hunting aspect of it. Really coming across a piece of clothing that you would never have expected to find. Whereas walking into a vintage store, they're all really curated pieces of clothing. And to be honest, most of the vintage stores I go into nowadays have clothing articles that aren't even vintage. Things that are just 5 years old but used. So it's not really an authentic shopping experience.
I think a lot of it is due to the awareness of fast fashion and just how detrimental it is environmentally and also socially. I mean, not everybody wants to be wearing like a pair of shoes that were stitched together with some nimble children's fingers. But also, obviously, thrifting is very trendy. Everybody wants to find like a pair of Levi's for like $5, which is a very good thing in terms of people are being more aware of their footprint. Bloggers do it and stuff like that. It's very in the media. Also, it's very accessible for a lot of people. It's not like saving up for like a Balenciaga shoe. Like everybody can go to the thrift store and spend $20 and buy something cool and exciting.
Thrift shopping has been getting a lot more popular lately because people are looking for more unique pieces and nobody wants to be wearing the same thing as somebody else from the more popular stores that you would see downtown. I think there's also a growing awareness of fast fashion and the impact that fashion factories have on people living in developing countries and the unsafe conditions of the factories and the deaths that they cause, as well as the synthetic fibers that they use to make most clothes in fast fashion and the microplastics that get into our water stream and bioaccumulate into our food. So I think it's just a really wise thing. People are seeing how fast we go through fashion and just buying cheap clothes that rip right away or buying clothes that you throw out a year later. And it's just really more sustainable, cheaper for you, it's more unique, and it's almost more fun to go thrift shopping. So I think a lot of people are starting to notice that, and that's why it's catching on.
Mine was my prom dress.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I had a prom dress at I ordered one online for like $500, and I was like, ready to buy it, and then I went just thrifting in Vanier, and I saw it. Yeah, Vanier, man. And it was beautiful. It was like it fit me like a glove. It was like a rose pink. It was light. It was so pretty for $10. And everyone was like, oh my god, you're so beautiful on prom day. I was like, I know.
$10.
Yeah, I got that. So that was my best time with the prom dress. It's like honestly my favorite dress.
I think mine, I'm wearing it right now. This is from Kensington Market, a vintage store, so it's a little bit more expensive than like thrifting wise. But I found a jacket as well that was super beautiful, and it was really unique, and it was really cheap too. I don't know, it was a good leather jacket.
Oh my god. Can I show you?
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite. It was like the start of my fashion career.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really like this. This was like what first got me into fashion. I bought it at a vintage store with one of my friends, and ever since then I was like, wow, I love looking good.
My favorite used item that I found was actually at the Great Weave garage sale on my birthday. And I found these really cool old school 3-tone Nike shoes, skateboard shoes. And they're so comfy and they fit me perfectly, and I got them for like $5, and the girl was like just about to close down her garage sale when I found them, and I was like, these shoes fit me, that's gonna be the best birthday gift ever, and they did. Now I wear them all the time to skateboard, and they're the most comfy shoes. So that's definitely my favorite thing.
Jeans I'm wearing, I got for $5 at Salvation Army, and then there was this vintage store I shop at in Montreal. They sell vintage clothes. They sell like pins, patches, stickers, and like t-shirts printed with art, like local artists artwork. And I got these patches from there and I put them on my jeans. And they're one of the most favorite things I own just because they didn't cost me much. They're unique and I feel like they really express my personality.
It's better not to talk at all, is my advice.